There was one question that kept Einstein awake for the last 3 days of his life. What was before the universe was born? He wrote a sentence on his deathbed, then immediately tore it up and flushed it. A nurse secretly pieced it together, finding only 6 words. Time does not exist. Even more terrifying, Hawking said in his later years, if you could understand the state of the universe 1 second before its birth, your brain would instantly collapse. Because in that second there was no space, no time, no matter, not even nothingness itself existed. This is not philosophy, but something physicists have proven with mathematics. At the Big Bang singularity, all equations fail, like your phone suddenly displaying 1 or 0. A NASA top-secret report states humanity can never understand the moment of creation, because our mind itself is a product of the universe. Using rules inside the universe to understand outside the universe is like asking a fish to describe the desert. But what makes scientists even more desperate is that when they try to define the concept of nothing, they find human language cannot describe it. You say there is nothing in your pocket, but the pocket is still there, the air is still there, the space is still there. Your nothing is actually full of something. In 2023, the Institute for Advanced Study at Princeton conducted an experiment asking 50 top physicists to describe the state before the universe in 1 sentence. No 2 answers were the same. 12 of them simply gave up, saying any description would be a lie. What is true nothingness? Not darkness, because darkness needs space to hold it. Not emptiness, because emptiness needs boundaries to define it. Not stillness, because stillness needs time to be measured. It is a state where the concept of non-existence itself does not exist. It is like trying to imagine a 4-dimensional object. Your brain automatically reduces it to 3 dimensions to understand it. When you try to imagine absolute nothingness, your mind secretly adds a black background to it, but that background itself is already existence. In 1927, Belgian astronomer Lemaitre proposed a crazy idea. The universe had a beginning. The entire scientific community mocked him. Einstein even told him to his face, "Your mathematics is correct, but your physics is terrible." Why? Because admitting the universe had a beginning meant admitting there was nothing before that. This violated the iron law of nothing comes from nothing for 2,000 years. But in 1929, Hubble observed a shocking phenomenon with his telescope. All galaxies are moving away from us, and the farther they are, the faster they move. What does this mean? If you reverse this process, all matter converges to one point. A point of infinite density, infinite temperature, and infinitesimal volume. Scientists named it the Singularity. But the existence of this singularity completely destroyed the foundation of physics. At that point, general relativity says gravity tears everything apart. Quantum mechanics says uncertainty makes everything chaotic. The 2 theories fail simultaneously, like 2 masters collapsing at the same time. Even more bizarre, the singularity is not at some location in space, but is the beginning of space itself. It is not at some moment on the timeline, but is the beginning of time. This means asking what was before the singularity is inherently wrong, because the word before requires time to exist, but time had not yet been born. At this point, philosophers split into 2 fiercely debating camps. One side insists on creation from something. The universe must have evolved from some eternally existing matter, because creation ex nihilo violates logic. They say maybe there is a primordial energy we do not know about that existed eternally, and then suddenly burst at some moment, forming the universe. It sounds reasonable, but the question is, if that energy existed eternally, why did it burst precisely 138 billion years ago? What was it doing in the infinite time before that? Why would it suddenly change state? It is like a never-rusting iron ball suddenly starting to rust one day. There is no logic to it. The other side advocates creation from nothing. The universe truly was born from absolute nothingness. This sounds more absurd, but quantum physics provides a chilling piece of supporting evidence. In 1948, physicists discovered a phenomenon called quantum fluctuations. In a vacuum, particles appear and disappear out of nowhere. Energy fluctuates without cause. Under the chair you are sitting on trillions of particle-antiparticle pairs are born and annihilated in the void every second. They exist for a time too short for even light to move the distance of a single atom. What does this mean? Nothing is not truly nothing. It is full of frantic activity, full of energy surges, and full of transient virtual particles. In 2012, the European Organization for Nuclear Research discovered the Higgs boson. This discovery shocked the world because the Higgs field is ubiquitous. It fills the entire universe. Even the so-called vacuum is not truly empty. Physicists measured that the energy contained in every cubic centimeter of space is enough to blow the entire solar system to pieces. This energy is called vacuum energy. It is hidden in the seemingly empty air around you, hidden in every corner of the universe. So when we say the universe was born from nothing, that nothing is actually a boiling ocean of energy, its fluctuations are just too fast and too small for our instruments to detect. But this is not the craziest part. In 2022, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to 3 scientists who experimentally proved that quantum entanglement is real. What does this mean? 2 particles instantly influence each other's state regardless of the distance separating them. The speed is faster than the speed of light. It is even instantaneous. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. He refused to believe it was real, but experiments proved it true again and again. Even scarier, this entanglement exists not only between particles but theoretically between all particles in the entire universe. If the universe was born from a singularity, all matter was initially squeezed together and they were all once entangled. This leads to a spine-tingling possibility. The entire universe might still be entangled. Every atom in you maintains a mysterious connection with atoms 13.8 billion light-years away in the cosmos. A 2023 study by Oxford University found that when they changed the state of one particle in the lab, another entangled particle 10 kilometers away instantly responded. The speed was at least 10,000 times the speed of light. If this connection truly spans the entire universe, it means each of us is not an independent entity but a node in this gigantic quantum network. Now we arrive at an even crazier theory, the multiverse. Stanford theoretical physicist Andre Lind proposed that our universe may be just one bubble among countless others. Outside our universe, infinite other universes are being born, expanding, and dying. Each universe has its own laws of physics. Some universes might have twice our speed of light, some might have no gravity at all. Some might have collapsed after only $0.0001 seconds. Our universe is special because its parameters just happen to allow life to exist, allow atoms to form, and allow galaxies to be born. How small is this probability? If you randomly adjust the universe's fundamental constants by even 1,1,000,000, the universe instantly collapses. In March 2024, the James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, discovered some perplexing phenomena. Some galaxies at the edge of the universe appear to be older than the universe itself. The light from these galaxies has traveled for 13.4 billion years to reach Earth, but the universe is only 13.8 billion years old. This means these galaxies were fully mature just 400 million years after the Big Bang. This is theoretically almost impossible. Some scientists put forward a bold speculation. Perhaps these galaxies came from a cycle before our universe was born. Maybe the Big Bang was not the first time the universe might be undergoing infinite cycles of birth and death. This leads to the Cyclic Universe Theory. The universe expands to its limit, then contracts back into a singularity, and then explodes again cyclically. If this theory is correct, the problem of creation from nothing itself disappears. Because the universe never truly began, it is just in eternal recurrence. But this theory has a fatal flaw. Each cycle increases the universe's entropy. Entropy is the measure of disorder. According to the second law of thermodynamics, entropy can only increase, never decrease. If the universe had truly cycled infinitely, the current entropy should be infinite, and the universe should have fallen into heat death long ago. But this is not the case. So what exactly is time? Newton believed time was absolute, like a uniformly flowing river regardless of what happens, it flows at a constant speed. But Einstein completely overturned this idea with relativity. Time is relative, it changes due to speed and gravity. An astronaut traveling near the speed of light experiences time much slower than people on Earth. When they return to Earth, centuries might have passed, but they only felt months. More extreme, at the edge of a black hole's world, time almost stops. If you fall into a black hole from an external observer's perspective, you would be forever frozen at that moment, never truly falling in. A 2023 study by the Chinese Academy of Sciences found that when particles are in a state of quantum superposition, the time they experience may be chaotic, perhaps even experiencing both forward and backward time flow simultaneously. This means that at the quantum scale, past, present, and future may exist simultaneously and causality may be blurred. Some physicists even propose time might not exist at all. It is just an illusion created by our brains to understand changes in the universe. We see things move from order to disorder, from low entropy to high entropy, and we label this process as the passage of time. But in the universe's fundamental equations, time is completely symmetric. If time is an illusion, is the universe's beginning also an illusion? Perhaps all moments of the universe from the Big Bang to the end of the cosmos exist simultaneously. We are just reading an already written story one page at a time. This theory is called the block universe theory. The entire spacetime is like a giant four-dimensional loaf of bread. The past, present, and future are all already there. Our consciousness just moves across this loaf, creating the sensation of time passing. If this is true, it means every decision you made yesterday, and even the one you are making now, already existed in that four-dimensional structure. Free will might just be an illusion. How was space born? We are used to thinking of space as an empty container where matter moves. But general relativity tells us that space itself can be warped, stretched, and torn. When the Big Bang happened, not only matter and energy but space itself expanded. This is hard to grasp because we instinctively ask, where is space expanding into? But this question is wrong, because the concept of where itself requires space to exist. Space is not expanding into some bigger space is the expansion itself. The 2011 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to the scientists who discovered the accelerated expansion of the universe. They found that the universe is not only expanding, but the expansion rate is accelerating. It is like a car that keeps accelerating. This completely contradicted our expectations because gravity should be slowing the universe's expansion down. What force is driving this accelerated expansion? Scientists named it dark energy, but that name is just a euphemism for we do not know what it is. Even stranger, dark energy makes up 68% of the universe's total energy. Dark matter accounts for 27%. The ordinary matter we can see, touch, and understand is only 5%. What does this mean? We have absolutely no idea what 95% of the universe is. We are like ants living in a giant room. We can only sense a few breadcrumbs on the floor, while we cannot even perceive the existence of the furniture, walls, and ceiling. In 2024, the European Space Agency's Gaia satellite found that the trajectories of some galaxies cannot be explained by known laws of physics, as if an invisible giant hand were pushing them. This hand may be the dark matter and dark energy we still do not understand. Now we come to the most core question. If the universe truly emerged from nothing, what conditions were required? Quantum theory provides an answer. No conditions are required. At the quantum scale, uncertainty allows energy to appear out of nowhere for a short time. As long as the time is short enough, the law of conservation of energy is not violated. The universe may be a superscale quantum fluctuation. It borrowed immense energy from the void and then expanded to the macroscopic scale in an extremely short time. Once the universe was large enough, the concept of time became meaningful. The law of conservation of energy took effect, and the universe never had to pay back the borrowed energy. But this leads to a philosophical question. If the universe can spontaneously emerge from nothing, why are new universes not being born everywhere all the time? The answer might be, they are. Theories suggest tiny universe bubbles are being born in the void all the time, but most collapse the moment they are born. Only a very few, like our universe, luckily crossed the critical point and began a frantic expansion. Our existence itself is a miracle, a single success among countless failed attempts. Religion and science meet at a fascinating intersection on this question. Almost all major religions believe the universe was created, that a transcendent force started it all. And modern physics also finds the universe did have a beginning and did require some kind of first mover. The difference is religion calls it gods while science calls it quantum fluctuation. But essentially both are trying to answer the same question. What can be unconstrained by causality? What can be the starting point of the causal chain? MIT cosmologist Alan Guth proposed a theory. Maybe the universe's birth required no cause. In the quantum world, causality is blurred. Events can happen without a cause. The universe's birth may be just such an uncaused effect. It simply happened with no cause, no purpose, and no meaning. This view makes many feel despair because it means our existence is purely accidental with no deeper meaning. But others find this to be the beauty of life. We're not pawns in some grand plan, but beings who create our own meaning in a meaningless universe. Finally, let us return to the original question. What was before the universe was born? After all this discussion, we find that the question itself may be fundamentally wrong. Before requires time to exist, but time itself is part of the universe. Before the universe was born, the concept of time itself did not exist. So asking what was before the universe was born is as absurd as asking where is north of the North Pole. The North Pole is the northernmost point, there is no north beyond it. The beginning of the universe is the starting point of time, there is no before that. Humanity has spent thousands of years from gazing at the stars to building telescopes, from Newtonian mechanics to quantum theory, from philosophical speculation to experimental proof. We approach the answer to this ultimate question step by step, but every time we think we are about to uncover the truth, we find deeper mysteries. Maybe this is the universe's greatest mercy. It always leaves us with unsolved puzzles, so our curiosity always has a goal to pursue. As Feynman said, I would rather have unproven interesting questions than certain boring answers. Where did the universe come from? We may never completely know, but the process of seeking that answer is itself a part of the meaning of human existence.